Hello, everyone. Depends on what time you're seeing this video. It's good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Arpan Mukherjee, and today we are going to start with a new lesson. It's called the Pradhan Mantri Dhan Yojana as part of our history lesson on for IAS exam. So the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana was quite relatively recently launched way back in 2014, and it's India's national mission for financial inclusion. Now, for financial inclusion, it means that it's a new plan launched by our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, for the purpose of giving access to financial services, namely credit, insurance, pension savings deposit, basically providing basic banking services to people who don't have access to such services, and basically the this yojana is targeted towards the people belonging to the BPL line, that is the below poverty line segment, and the lower segments of the population. People, especially farmers. It's launched on August 28, 2014, and currently it's been run by the Department of Financial Services of the Ministry of Finance. As of now, uh, when it was inaugurated during the inaugural week, around 18 million bank accounts had opened, which happens to be a Guinness World Record held by India. The Indian government has been given a Guinness World Record certificate for it, and which states that during the week 23rd to 29th of August 2014, around 18 million bank accounts had opened in India, which also happens to be the inaugural week when this Yojana was launched. By 1st February 2017, over 27 crores, that is 270 million bank accounts were opened, and almost 665 billion rupees were deposited under the scheme. The slogan of the Yojana is Mera Khata Bhagya Vidhata. In fact, quite recently, as if you have watched the TV, uh, Amit Shah in his report in Lok Sabha has stated that around 27 crore around 30 crore bank accounts have been opened under the Jan Dhan Yojana scheme, and 30 million, that is 30 million families have been provided with basic bank account facilities, and they hope to provide more and more families in the near future. The purpose of So you can say that the purpose of this yojana is to create a nationwide microfinance system in India, so that whatever savings the sector or people have, that can be like rolled over, and sort of, you can say, it gives a sort of an earning to the sector. If you this see it You can see it for yourself. If you go to a bank account, if you have a bank account, you get interest for for your money which you deposit in your bank account. So that sort of helps you to earn some money. That is your earning. That is your earning in a particular year. So the similar theory is applied for in this segment of the population. So those who are not able to earn that much as we are, especially the uh, this Yojana is especially beneficial for your street side stall vendors. No offense, the people who sell tea, who uh, sell newspapers, who sell who repair cars, whose earnings are not that much high. So they have a bank account where they can deposit their money instead of keeping that money in their own homes. And problem is that the risk is the problem is that they might lose that money. Yes, if they keep the money earned by them in their own homes, they risk losing the money. One of the family members might get it and use it for unethical means, unsocial means. You can think about that. So through this, they are able to save money and earn interest on it, and they are also able to, if not in a great way, but in a small way, they're able to contribute to the national economy. So this is the stats of this Yojana as on to January 28th. As you can see over here, as you can see over here, the public sector number of accounts in the public sector banks on rural basis is 13.42 13.42 million. Uh, as you'll be knowing, there are certain rural sectors rural sectors of our rural areas of our country where you'll have branches of various public sector banks. There might be certain rural sectors where you'll find SBI. You might find or maybe one of its subsidiaries, State Bank of Travancore, etc. So overall, from the in the rural sector, public sector banks, 13.42 million accounts have been opened, whereas in the urban sector, there is around like 11.61 billion million out of so in under public sector banks, total 25 million accounts have opened, out of which 13.12, that is like 13.12 million accounts have been opened by females. So you can say have been opened by our female population. So it is a big benefit. So through this, the government wishes to uh, give empowerment to the women, empowerment to women, so that they can start their own ventures. Whatever earnings they're able to get through interest payment, they can use that to start small businesses, like maybe start their own this tea stall, or maybe your uh, stitching shops. So that's the main purpose behind, one of the key purposes behind starting this Yojana. And the private banks, through the private banks, the number hasn't been that great, more or less because private banks don't have that much this access to the rural areas. So around zero point 0.6 million accounts have opened. In the urban sector, is yet to see an improvement, 0.39 million accounts. Total, as you can see, the total balance in accounts has gone up to a whopping 73,588.56 crore rupees, and out of which 23.4 million rupee cards have been provided to uh, account holders who have opened their account under this Yojana. Rupee card is actually a sort of you can say, a credit card facility, credit card facility provided to the account holders under this Yojana. So the features of the Yojana is one of the key features is interest on deposit. So this is the major second. So this is one of the major, rather I should say, the most important feature of this Yojana, the interest on deposit. Because quite often, if you go to banks, they always say that the minimum account balance should be somewhere around 1 lakh. Only then you'll get a significant deposit. But over here, the account holders are getting interest on deposit at no minimum balance, and there's no minimum balance required. There's no minimum balance required, so they can, like, get even if they have rupees 1 rupee in their hand, still they are able to open their bank account. The scheme provides life cover of rupees 30,000 payable on death of the beneficiary, subject to fulfillment of the eligibility conditions. Then there is easy transfer of money across India. Then there's a feature of beneficiaries of government schemes will get direct benefit transfer in these accounts. There is a certain sector of the population who get subsidies. This what you call your gas subsidy. So whatever subsidy they will get, will be directly transferred to their accounts. This is quite important. After satisfactory operation of the account for 6 months, an overdraft facility will be permitted. Now, overdraft is what, like, if say if suppose you've withdrawn, if suppose let's say you have 2,000 rupees in your account, and you have withdrawn five wish to withdraw 5,000 rupees. So the bank provides you uh, overdraft facility of rupees 3,000 for a certain period. It can be for 6 months, it can be for 1 year. For that, you need to have a negotiation with your bank. So that's what overdraft facility is about. There's also access to pension insurance products, and overdraft facility up to rupees 5,000 is available in only one account per household, preferably lady of the household. This is quite an interesting factor. Now we move to the stats. Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal have got 29% of the total deposits under the scheme, whereas Kerala and Goa become the first states in the country to provide one basic bank account to every household. Overall, 176.1 million account holders from rural and semi-urban branches, and a total of 227 million RuPay cards have been issued by NPCI, the company managed by the government. And it's a PSU which is managed by the government. The government has a 50-50 joint venture with the other companies till August 2017. That is a total of 227 million RuPay cards have been issued. The positives is that it facilitates financial inclusion for varied demographics. Like I said, whatever money you have, it is uh, let's say even if you have 10 rupees in hand, let's say a particular family has 10 rupees is in hand, so they are able to save that money instead of using it for unethical means. If they keep it in their own household, they risk losing it, but through this Yojana they are able to contribute their money to the use of national economy, as well as able to get earn some interest, if not a full level interest, as well as if they're able to get access to overdraft facility, uh, then insurance cover, and other facilities which normal bank account holders get. But yes, as I've mentioned over here, improving policy communication, widening and deepening progress in low income states, and ironing out the kinks in the bank agent model will be crucial if these hard fought gains are to prove sustainable. So there needs to be a proper clarity in the policy, and there are still a lot of people we need to cover yet. And Even if you check out in the news, if you check out in your newspapers, news coverage, everything, there are still you'll find a lot of people who still are not much aware about this scheme. Are not there will be a certain set of the population who are unwilling to uh, register for such schemes. So there is still a long way to go to you know make 100% coverage. So that's all for today. Thank you so much. And yes, there with positives, there's also criticisms. The criticisms is that a lot of people have stated that it's more of like you'll see, it's quite relevant in political circles, that it's more of like a vote bank uh, measure instituted by the India government. A lot of people have said that uh, people in the lower rungs of society might misuse it, which is, yes, there is a possibility. But if you look at but if you look at the overall perspective, if you look at the ben look at the value of this scheme, if implemented properly, then overall a lot of people will benefit from it. A lot of people, it will give a lot of people a sort of an identity, literally you can say, a sort of a strength, sort of a support with which they can start their normal lives. And just like Mr. Amit Shah had said, uh, a tea stall vendors children can will be able to study in a proper schools later on. Uh, they will be able to move on in life. They will be able to do well, and maybe would run a better business than their parents have done. So this gives you, so this is, if yes, it is a proper, it is an opportunity for a lot of people in the a lot of people to bring a change in their lives. And if implemented properly, if the scheme will be implemented properly, if people use the use the bank accounts properly, then it can bring a huge change in the long run for our economy. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening to my lecture, and hope to see you soon for my next lecture. Thank you.